Hello and welcome to Community Crossroads. I'm your host, Karina Garcia, and we have some exciting interviewees today. To kick off today's show, we commemorate the retirement of K-9 Officer Eros of Seadrift. Then Victoria native Carson Patterson tells us his inspiring story about how he was able to turn his life around. Then Dr. Gary Breffman talks about anti-Semitism and standing up against hate. We also sit down with Edith Gower to discuss her efforts in preserving the Luther Hotel in Palacios. And last but certainly not least, we have Athletic Director Mark Chavez. And we now welcome K-9 Officer Eros and Lieutenant Lewis Warren. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Not a problem.
So tell me about this big boy down here. Hey, buddy.
Well, he is a German Shepherd. He came from the Canadian program, was shipped over to the United States. They go through approximately 2.5 years of training, which basically gives them almost a doctorate. And this dog is trained in narcotics, tracking, and also apprehension, officer protection, if you would be.
Absolutely.
He was certified in marijuana, meth, cocaine, heroin, and ecstasy.
So he's seen it. He's seen it all.
Yep, he's seen it all. He's worked with the Coast Guards. He's worked with the feds. He's worked with Victoria and in all the surrounding areas here. Obviously, he's put his time in. He's turning 10 this year. He retired in December, so in dog years, he's 77 years old.
He's an old man. He's an old boy.
He's an old man.
So tell me a little bit about his training and how long did it take to get him to the point of, becoming an officer in the police force?
They start out by selecting certain dogs that have different drives, depending on what you're looking for. The narcotic drive is a hunt drive. So the hunt drive is like going out and finding prey, birds or anything of that matter that the dog is trained for. Then they move on into the narcotic section. Normally marijuana was first. They're now moving to cocaine because, the laws are becoming less and less. They go through a series of that, and then they actually have to pass a test and degree for them to be there. And then tracking, obviously they do articles, which is, if somebody throws a weapon while they're running, and also tracking that person or trailing. The apprehension part is we put people in, or train people in a bite suit and sleeves, and we slowly work off
what
away
we see
from
on
that.
TV, right?
Somewhat, yes.
Yeah.
In a controlled manner and everything, and then prepare them as best we possibly can for a real world situation, because we can't really mimic the real world situation of that aspect.
Right.
But the narcotics, we can get down to a science almost on that.
Got it. And so how much does it cost to train someone like Eros?
Dogs right now are typically running about $20,000 to $25,000 right now, and that's for a 16 to 2-year-old dog.
Wow. Okay. And
16-month, 2-year-old.
Got it. And so now that he's retired, and everybody wants to make it to his age, where does he go now? Who does he live with?
So with the city, with their policy, he actually lives with me at home.
Okay.
I have several other puppies. He actually runs around with a little schnauzer-like dog, and him and those two are actually good buddies. And since the schnauzer can't get up to the counter, he enlists the help of him. So with those two geniuses together, I have my hands full.
Oh my gosh. Well, officer, thank you so much for bringing him today, and thank you for coming all the way from Seadrift.
Thank you very much for having us.
Absolutely. And stay seated right where you are, because we have the inspiring story of Carson Patterson up next.